Alright, real quick, time for devlog number 5. Now this devlog is just going to be a grab bag of like random features I've cooked up since the previous one, as well as kind of like a open letter of sorts to the people over on the Discord server talking about the game since its inception and stuff. I'm going to be doing that in this video, as well as, this kind of works as I don't want to say stopping point, but I guess stopping point so that I can go ahead and upload a build for playtesting. The thing about a game like FTW is that like figuring out where you want to stop development so that you can upload a build and then, continue development after you do that. It's kind of weird, So this video kind of works as me forcing myself to upload a build since I haven't done that in forever. If you encounter a exit that doesn't take you to another room, that's the end of that route. That happens after you beat Gutter, Gravedigger, and Natto. We'll get to who Natto is in a minute. Anyway, so first things first in this video, we're going to be talking about the new mechanic, fast travel. You press the space bar on a bed, you get taken to this screen. These are most likely placeholders. I decided to do rooms tangentially, not tangentially, I'm stupid, next to the friggin' bed bed is in, the room the bed is in. So this is the same room as the bed because the tutorial is weird. This is the hub, which is right of the room. This is the room with Bubba and Hunter, which is left of the bed up there. This is Gutter, who is right of the bed. And these are the Clanker and Elite Raider set are left of the bed. I might change these two to be the respective bosses just because that's more memorable, This being FRM, that being Raid Cruncher. We'll see. Again, I think I went this route because the bed situation, if I just had each one of these be a picture of the respective bed, you'd get even less information. So yeah, this is the one I'm currently at, and then I go to this one, and then I go to that one, and then I go to that one, and then I go to that one. So yeah. Now Gutter has a death animation. I'm not going to be showing it off in this video because there's not much of a reason to, but it exists now. Currently the only enemies without death animations are Gravedigger and Raid Cruncher. Gravedigger and Raid Cruncher are also some of the only enemies that don't have dedicated journal entries. There's 3 others. We'll get to them in a bit. Speaking of the journal, let's go up here and talk to Tailtaker to access the journal, where we have extra entries. In the last devlog, I showed off the Clanker and Freak entries. In this one, we have 3 more to play with. The Elite Raider entry, which on the selection screen has a melee Elite Raider, and in the bio, it's a ranged Elite Raider. They do not have different bios because one bio would inevitably be explaining what an Elite Raider is, with a little bit about the specific Raider type, and then the other Raider bio would be really short because it'll explain the difference, or be a copy and paste of the first section. You get it. There's not a lot here. There's about half of this is explaining what an Elite Raider is, and the other half is explaining the difference between the melee and ranged variety. So, yeah. Anyway, Hunter has an entry now. Woo. This is probably my least favorite enemy type in the game. I don't like the Hunters. I'm not proud of them. They're not interesting, hence why the entry is phrased this way. But they exist because being faithful to the source material. This is what, if this game is called From the Waste, it is a remake of a game called From the Waste. Therefore, having like the stronger growth variant be what it was in the original. Yeah, not proud of it, but whatever. I honestly probably should just remove the Hunter and replace them with something I actually like. Genuinely screw being faithful to the source material. There's not a lot of that in this game anyway, so why cherry pick like that? Anyway, Bubba Fathead, there's his entry. There's no other updated entries. So, why did I go down there? I'm going to talk about the big thing, the sewer area. There's a little bit of that. I'm going to save that for the end just so this video can end in a somewhat climactic way. But let's go over the other stuff. So in this room over here, this is a placeholder thing. This is not where you will fight this boss. We have Fink 2. Fink 2 will probably get a slightly altered sprite in the future. But essentially, this guy is just a harder version of base Fink. He has 200 health. You fight him right before you go into the final area, and he drops the shotgun. He's very unfinished. He'll probably have unique moves, but both of his base walking speed is faster, his ram is faster, his recovery after hitting a wall is faster, his shooting is faster. Bullets travel at the same speed, but there's 5 of them instead of 3. I'm probably going to give him 2 or 3 more moves after that, and an updated sprite. So maybe more armor, maybe a different colored jacket. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, this is always the plan. Fink's object in the friggin' game has been called Fink 1, even when he was the first boss added to the game. Currently, Fink 2 has no collisions, by the way. Anyway, yeah, 200 health, which at this point in the game, you'll have every weapon except the shotgun, and kind of the chain gun. We'll get to the chain gun in a minute. But yeah, at the point of fighting Fink 2, you'll have every weapon in the game except the shotgun, which is the weapon he drops. So, which means you can unleash 189 damage into him until you have to default back to the revolver. I'm not using the grenades against Fink because I don't have them right now. I have not fought the boss that drops them so that I can fight that boss and show off that in this video. So I do not have the grenades right now, which just kind of means I have to pistol him to death. Ooh. He also currently does not drop the shotgun. It is in fact in my inventory right now. But yeah, there's Fink 2. He's not going to be in this room when you fight him, since this is the room you fight Fink 1 in. He's just there as that's an arena that's an appropriate size that doesn't screw with anything else for testing purposes. For beta testers, which there's like 2 of you, Fink 2 will not be fightable in the version you get. I'm just showing that off for the video. Now let's talk about the shotgun for a second. Originally, this thing functioned like the shotgun from Greeds in the Waste. You know, tight spread. I mean, the opposite of the tight spread, very widespread. However, like, we're talking 60 degrees at furthest. This one, I have half that. So, 5 projectiles still, but the outermost ones, at most, are like 30 degrees. And the inner ones are 15, and the middle one is obviously 0, you know. But yeah, if you look, it starts fading after a bit. A little over half of a screen is its range. Fudge. Yeah, there we go. A little over half the screen is its range. And each one of those bullets move at pretty much the same speed as a revolver round and do the same damage as a revolver round. It has the same shot speed as a revolver round, and I'm thinking about giving the shotgun 10 shots before you have to refill at a bed. That's the current plan. Why did I make the spreads tighter? Well, theoretically, the shotgun from Greeds in the Waste is a pretty effective weapon on paper. It's just that in terms of tactile feedback, it's kind of not fun to use, you know? Sometimes you'll kill an enemy instantly. Sometimes you'll, you know, not kill the enemy instantly. And while, like, you know exactly why you're not killing the enemy instantly, because, you know, duh, it still doesn't make the weapon that fun to use. So I tightened the spread on this thing and gave it the whole range disadvantage deal. It's still pretty good, honestly. This still might be my favorite weapon in the game in terms of how it feels. I made a good decision with tightening the spread on this thing. It's just that, like, another reason why I tightened the spread is even though the damage output would have been there, having a weapon that's not fun to use but does the damage is a thing that already exists. It's the grenade. We'll get to that once we get to it. But yeah, it's a thing that exists. Pretty much every weapon in this game, except the Fleshhound head, fires at the same rate of the revolver, half a second. They all used to be slower. Now they're all the same rate since they consume ammo. That's the trade-off. And let's go ahead and get the grenade out of the way. So grenade's up here in this room. Well, no, it's not. This is Glubbo. Well, there's kind of a grenade here. Glubbo shoots grenades. He is the first mini-boss of the game. Mini-bosses stay dead after you kill them, and you can't leave the room that they're in. So they're functionally bosses, except, you know, They have far less health. Glubbo has 40 health, which is not a lot. For reference, Fink, the weakest boss in the game. The only boss in the one of two bosses in the game you fight without any ammo weapons. Fink has 50 health, which is slightly more than Glubbo. An enemy you're guaranteed to have the saw blade for. You can just shoot 13 saw blades at him, and one bullet, and he dies. Now we're going to talk about the Geg. The Geg is the worst thing ever. This is the Geg. The first regular enemy of the sewer. Dual wields 2 machine guns. 9 health, moves slow. So what you want to do is you want to use the environment to your advantage while fighting him. And once you shoot him 3 times, he blows his brains out. He has a death animation. It's just that, like, you can't see it. Because, you know, you don't want to be anywhere near him. But he has it. He has one. This is Natto, the first boss of the sewer. The boss of the sewer that drops the grenades. He has a grenade attack, which is weaker than Glubbo's. He has that whip attack, where he fires his arm at you. And he has this move where he shoots in different directions. It's a pretty simple fight, honestly, but I like it. He has 120 health, which is the same as Gravedigger. Gravedigger being his analog on the other route. Now, using the Fleshhound head against Natto is stupid because of the whip move, but whatever. I'll use the shotgun against him just to show off how good it is. The shotgun is a pretty effective weapon. And I'll pistol kill him. Just because. Shotgun doesn't even have ammo right now. I don't have to do that. But yeah, there's his death animation. As you can see, he drops the grenades. I'm probably gonna alter the depth a bit so you can see it. But yeah, the grenades, you have 7 of them. They, whenever you throw one, shoot 6 projectiles, each do 2, meaning 1 grenade does 12 damage. The projectiles do not hit you. I went this direction instead of like an AoE explosive thing, for some reason. Before it used to shoot 12 of those. I nerfed that because it was doing 24 damage per throw, which is absurd. So yeah, now it does that number. I guess I'll show off the death animation of the Geg in a proper context now. I'm going to kill it with the shotgun. There we go. I'm not a fan of the Gegs right now. I also don't, but like I think they're I need to move that growth a bit. But I'm not a huge fan of the Gegs right now. I think they're the most annoying enemy in the entire Waste series, but they kind of have to exist. Just so this game has like an actual difficulty curve, you know. And the first one's placed in a way that you know that it's there because you see its projectiles hit the other side of that wall before you enter that other room. Anyway, I guess we have to address the chain gun now. I've mentioned that at the beginning of the video and haven't really talked about it. This is the chain gun. This is a weapon that's been in the game since January of last year when the game was birthed. All of the weapons were in the game within like the first week of development, and they were pretty much done, and I've just made alterations of them once they were actually given, you know, a way to be obtained. The chain gun is the only weapon as of now that has not been altered in any significant way. The hammer and revolver also haven't, but they're weirdos. So, about the chain gun, I do not think I'm going to add this weapon to the game, you know? I don't think I'm going to, you know. The chain gun doesn't really have a place in FTW, you know. Because you already have your spray weapon. It's the Fleshhound head, you know. You already have your bullet weapon. It's the revolver. This is a weird hodgepodge that just kind of outclasses both of them. It does 2.5 times the damage of the Fleshhound head and has way more range. So, yeah. And the thing just shreds through most enemies. So how would I balance this weapon hypothetically? I mean, if I gave it the same amount of shots as the Fleshhound head, then it would just be a better Fleshhound King head, you know? If I gave it shot significantly lower, let's say 100, then yeah, the weapon would be usable, I suppose, but like, why? Why just have a weapon slot for that? We already kind of have a samey weapon in the form of the saw blade, but that weapon has like its own thing going on. And one more thing about the chain gun, just where the hell would I put the thing, you know? The shotgun is a weapon gotten right before the final area, right? It is weapon number 6. It is the one gotten that you get right before going into the new flesh labs. Where would I put the chain gun? Like, unless I make the chain gun a reward for beating the game, which is what the original concept was, and it's probably what I'll do, where would I put the chain gun? Because, like, at the end of the day, if I add the chain gun to the final area, it's pretty much just a weapon you'll use on the final boss, or final 2 bosses, I guess. Wherever I put it in the final area, you're just going to be using it for the rest of the final area, and nothing else. There's no, which we already have a weapon that's supposed to fulfill that role. It is called the shotgun, you know. That's what the shotgun is for. And, yeah, the point is I'm trying to make is I don't think the chain gun has a place in FTW. Also, I don't like the way it looks. You know, that's a factor. And I think that the other spray weapon is just far more charming. So, yeah, I don't want to usurp this thing because I kind of think the Fleshhound King head is hilarious. Look at him. So that's the video. Playtesters, if you're watching this, which you might be, I don't know, there's a new build. I probably posted the link on the server already, but yeah, there's a new build. Ooh.